At Red Crossing, a sentence by the well pulled the whole town into silence. I am no longer a virgin. A thin rancher nodded in reply. Then 4 barrels, 3 bodies fell, and a dark cloth hung on the fence like a flag without color. If you dare to go on, stop half a step and listen to the wind. I saw her, sitting by the abandoned well, head lowered, hand gripping a dark handkerchief wet with sweat and dust. Cracks ran around the well's mouth like old veins. The wind carried alkali, dry. A lizard lay on the warm stone, eye half open, not blinking. She looked up. Lips cracked. The words fell like a brick dropped into a dry well. I am no longer a virgin. Flat voice. No plea. No need for belief. The wind stopped for a moment. The bucket rope swayed, creaking. The crows by the horse shed turned once, then moved away. I stood a few strides off. Dust clung to my trousers like iron filings. No one said, but I knew I was standing before something already lost, not returnable. Calder stood a few steps off. Narrow shoulders. Shirt torn at the left sleeve, threads sticking out like dry thorns. Mud crusted on his boot heels. He looked at the space between us, not at the cloth, not at the well. He nodded once, like hearing someone demand salt debt payment. Small motion, cut clean. Boy Sam stood behind me. His hands hugged a tin bucket, rim bent. He did not blink. Bare foot pressed against the wooden post's shadow, leaving a small dent. Sweat rolled down his temple, fell on the bucket's hook. No sound. Water? She asked. Looked at me, then at the dust mark on Calder's boot. Yes, Calder said, one word, short. He bent, took the rope. The dry fibers rasped. The bucket struck bottom, hollow sound, like hitting an answer no one needed. He pulled. Muscle rose under thin cloth. Little water, murky. Enough to wet the mouth. I held out a tin cup. She took with the left hand, right, still holding the cloth. Drank, slow. Water slid through the crack on her lip, pooled at her chin, dropped on her shirt. Not rushed, but her throat swallowed deep, like pushing down a stone. Done, she gave the cup back, 2 fingers trembling. Not fear, just tired. I looked at the cloth. Dark as ditch mud. Edge, stitched with clumsy thread. Letters, not round, not fragrant. Only the smell of hands. Smell of long days, kept in a pocket, carried with road dust. She held it like one holds a fine slip. Quick. Looked through Calder. Eat, he told her. She took, bit a small corner, softened with water in her mouth. No praise, no thanks. Ate like paying a small debt to the body. In the barnyard, an old plank shifted, squeaking. A horse struck the ground twice. The iron of the saddle heated under sun, giving smell. All sounds carried clear. Even the needles stuck in my pocket, knocking against a dead cartridge from last month, making a faint sound like fingernail tapping glass. The cloth, I said, holding it that way, hurts the hand. She looked down, gripped tighter. I'm used to it. Calder glanced over, did not stop, did not defend, only exhaled. Thin breath, no smell of liquor. Boy Sam tiptoed to peer into the well. He liked things deep, nothing down there but a crooked piece of sky. He muttered to himself, so deep. Don't break the rope, I warned. It's old, he said, hands still on, eyes still down, not afraid. A cart rolled by far off, wheels grinding gravel. The driver glanced our way, then turned, like mistaken. Dust trailed long before settling. I watched the dust, thought of names in the ledger at the saloon, thought of nods that sold 2 rainy seasons cheap. No one near to hear. I did not say. "You need shade," Calder said. Not a suggestion, just a report. "Here is fine," she said. Sat closer to the well mouth, back straight, knees together. The cloth lay between her palms like a dead bird. Our shadows shrank. Sun stood. A small insect beat against my shirt 3 times, then flew. Sweat down my back, thin, cold. "Anyone chasing you?" I asked, but the sentence slid off wrong from my mouth. She did not answer, only pulled the edge of cloth into her palm. A thread snagged her nail. She did not remove it, let it stay caught. Calder looked far, the field like a large paper folded many times. He drew nothing on it, stood still. "Shall I tie the horse in the shade?" Boy Sam asked. "Tie it by the well," Calder said. "The rope's old," the boy said. "By the well," he repeated. The boy nodded, led the horse over. The rope rasped dry. The horse snorted. Its spit stained the rope in a dull sheen. "Sit long, you'll ache," I told her. "I know. Want to wash your face?" She looked at the bucket. "Yes." I poured a little water into my hand. She caught with the back of hers, dipped fingertips, swept from chin to ear, not over eyes, only the dirt that showed. A black mark sunk deep, likely from pressing a labor ledger a few days back. I guessed, did not ask. "What's his name?" I said low, glancing at Calder. She did not look at him, nor me. "They call him Calder." "And you?" She lifted her eyes, did not blink. "Ruth." I nodded. The name lay in my head like a river stone, round, cold. Boy Sam sat on the well's edge, legs dangling. He looked at the cloth as one looks at a sprung trap. "Don't your hands get tired holding that?" "No," Ruth said. "Why?" "No reason," she said. The boy kept quiet. His hair stuck 4 ways like grass when wind turns. He knew when to stop. He learned that in the stable, not from grown men. Far off, the saloon sign cracked once. The sound went around, then died mid-street. I thought of Barnett for a moment, his gold ring each time he tapped a glass. I did not speak his name, not yet. At this well, men like him would not dare come near. They only stood off, sniffed, waited. "Want your wrist bandaged?" I asked, seeing a thin scratch weep there. "No," she said. Pressed the cloth harder. Calder stepped half closer. "Enough." His second time. Ruth eased a little, only a little. Like a string unwound half a turn. An ant crossed her fingers, found a path to the cloth's fold, disappeared. She did not flinch. Her eyes fixed ahead where no dust floated. The skies, blue overripe, like fruit hung too long. One touch, it would fall into shadow. "Want to move to shade?" I asked. "This is shade," she said, even voice. Calder looked down. A man's boot print pressed over a woman's old step. Then wind blurred both, could not tell fresh from worn. He did not stoop long, stood straight. A sparrow landed near, plucked a strand of hair from sand, pulled, rose, the hair split. Bird left with half. Half remained, curled like a hook. Ruth watched. Her hand pulled cloth edge again, hiding half a slipped stitch in her palm. No one taught her, but all knew to do it. "Hot sun," boy Sam said, like complaint to his shadow. "Yeah," I said. "I'm hungry," he added. "Here," I gave the last half of bread. He broke it, offered Ruth a piece. She did not take. He faltered, looked at Calder. "Leave her," Calder said. The boy command, not coax. "Go where?" I asked. "Through town," he said. "Through town," Ruth repeated, as if repeating a vow to herself. Boy Sam hugged the bucket, shifted right to let them pass. He gave no blessing, did not turn, only followed, gap measured so his shadow would not touch theirs. Each step lifted a little dust, then dropped, lay behind like letters chalked on wood floor. Wind blew, letters blurred. I watched them cross the rough ground. None spoke more, only boots on gravel, Sam's bucket tapping his knee each 3 steps. I trailed a few horse lengths back. Ahead lay the street. The saloon sign tilted, close to falling, never fell. A curtain stirred at a window, dropped. No cheer, no jeer. The cloth stayed in Ruth's hand, dark, fist round. I did not know if it had wiped tears or blood, or just some rag shoved into her hand, so she had something to hold when walking through a crowd. But then, it was the words she had spoken. Words bound to her hand, not shed, not stored. And when they stepped across the line into town, all turned still like air before a storm. People did not look direct, only sideways through shadows. A door creaked, halted midway, kitchen smoke thin as paper pasted on air. I caught the smell of sunburned hide, iron, old bread, all mixed into that scent men here knew blind, smell of something about to be. No one explained, no one needed. I walked and still heard the well's rope ringing in my ear, like a door hinge not yet opened. In Ruth's hand the dark cloth kept its silence, heavy as lead. In Calder's eyes, that nod from before still hung, not fallen. Boy Sam slowed a pace to let me catch. He turned, whispered, faint as a shadow, "You hear it?" "I hear," I said. "Hear what?" Storm before storm, we walked on. No one looked back at the well, yet its black mouth gaped behind, tireless. I knew it would keep her first words in its stone, like a nail driven into a post. Not to hang a thing, but to mark the day hammered. Main Street of Red Crossing opened like a long board, cracked, dusted. The saloon sign hung crooked. Wind through, faint rattle. Smell of mash and old tallow blew from the door's crack. Men on the porch froze hands, glasses mid-air. They did not look at faces. They looked at Ruth's left hand, the dark cloth clenched, veins up under sun-rough skin. We stepped in. Hollow floor shifted under boots, straw scattered thin for spilled liquor. A pale spittoon lay in the corner. On the bar, a dry ring mark, round as a seal. No one greeted. Eyes flickered, darting like fish in shallow water. Barnett stood behind the bar, black vest, stiff collar, silver thread snagged at his lapel. He tapped ring to glass, 3 times, metal on glass, thin echo. Enough for all to know he began. "Shameful woman," he said loud, breathing even, dragging the town, gripping, only set. His eyes flicked Calder, then me, then back, as if unmoved. Ruth did not change hands. She walked to the table by the window, sat, forearm on wood, dry, shoulders straight, eyes unblinking. Cloth in her hand, tight. No flutter, no show. Calder stood a beat. From the doorway, his shadow joined the frames, lengthened with the wind, then drew short again. He set his hat on the table, sat across from Ruth. right hand on wood, knuckles rough as bark. No tapping, no pullback. Boy Sam slipped in behind, hugging the tin bucket to his belly. He did not know where to put it. Left it under the table, only dust and straw there. He nudged his boot tip through settled grit, made a rhythm. One, then still, enough to hear. I leaned at the bar's edge. Between me and them was air thick as a pane not clear. I saw scraps, knife scars cut into the counter, a dud shell someone had left, a silver hair caught in a rag. Such things stayed, reminding all who entered that every act left trace. Barnett raised a glass, did not drink, set it down, tapped ring again. "Here, honor is not for sale," he said, "nor wiped clean once soiled." Crow laughed short. His teeth were good. The laugh fell, broke on the floor. I heard the knife handle in Barnett's voice. No need to draw. All saw the hilt. "Whiskey for the guests," I said, flat voice. "No need," Ruth said. Calder did not object. He looked at the window. Outside, a horse struck twice. His eyes came back, fixed on Barnett. No word. "You think you can pass through?" Barnett asked. "There's law here." Crow idly touched the silver star, as if fitting. "Law needs clean," he said. "Where's the warrant?" "Witness," Ruth repeated, not a question. "Paper," Barnett corrected. He pulled the bar drawer. A hardback ledger slid out, edges curled. Black cover bore ring marks. "Name," he said. "Right." Calder did not move. "No," he said. "No?" Barnett raised brow. "No name, no presence. No presence, no seat." Ruth looked at her hand as at a sleeping animal. Did not drop cloth. Did not answer. A drop of Sam's sweat fell from his hair to his hand. He wiped with the back of the other, leaving dirt smear. Wind crawled through the crack, brought sun-stale scent. "Rise. This is no asylum," Barnett went on. "What he brings he bears. What she brings the town bears." "I bring nothing," Ruth said, even tone. Barnett smiled, tilted the glass, peered into bottom. "You bring words," he said, "heavier than guns." Crow nodded faint, as at some old tale. "Some words should be swallowed," he said. "Swallowed, seen by none." "Some words must lie outside," Ruth said, "so others walk around." Crow stayed quiet, not checked, only refusing tie. Sam blew air through cupped hand. His foot stirred dust again, even, each scuff like a clock counting in a room none wished to count. "Fine slip," Barnett said, pulling a dirty yellow sheet from the ledger. "Or go." "Fine for what?" I asked. "Defilement," he said. Eyes. Crow barked again, shorter. "Or sign," he added. "Name in the book. Easier to find later." Calder looked at the sheet. His eyes did not change. "No," he repeated. Barnett tapped ring once more. "Who do you think you are here?" "Nobody," Calder said. "Right," Barnett said. "Nobody, then nowhere." Ruth turned her wrist. The cloth shifted. Light caught a frayed seam. Not first I had seen, but here, in this room, the loose thread showed, like a flaw men strained to hide. Someone feigned a cough, spat into the spittoon. The crack rang sharp, clean as punctuation. Silence again. "Out," Barnett said. He did not shout, only pushed the word. Crow adjusted his belt as if idly. His hand never left the gun. I heard an old clock in my head, not present, ticking even. I did nothing, only stood aside, hand near the rag for cups. If spill, if break, I wipe. Ruth raised her face, black eyes, whites dry. I have a name, she said. Where you placed it, go back, Barnett said. Not here. Here, she said, touched fingertip to wood, the touch light as dust on eyelid. None saw. I did. Sam sniffed. His eyes asked if he should move the bucket. I shook head. He left it. His hand found a pocket nail, rusted. He rolled it between fingers, did not stick, only turned, like a thought dangerous but not yet cut loose. Barnett leaned forward, ring-scraping wood. One last, he said. Off my table. Calder laid his other hand flat. Two hands on wood, not clasped, knuckle callus raised. He breathed light. All in the room gathered around that breath, then fell. No, he said, third time. I thought he would go. I thought he would take the hat. Yield. Push the creaking door. Let dust swallow them and their names. I thought he would, only to set straight. Sit, Barnett said. Calder did not hear. He set hat low on his brow. The other hand left wood, left behind a clean handprint in dust. That clear mark lay like a refusal signed. No ink, no name, all could read. Crow shifted. Thumb again stroked the holster lip slow. His eyes measured. Between that dust handprint and door. Between Barnett's word and air. You are choosing, Crow said, not loud enough for all. Yeah, Calder said, same quiet. Choosing what? Barnett asked, not catching their trade. Burden, Calder said. I heard the word drop on floor, roll once through straw, then stop. None stooped. Ruth stepped first. Boy Sam hugged the bucket, slipped behind, his boot dragging small rhythms under the table. At the bar's edge, Barnett stood like old stone, his ring still shone, shine of metal carrying memory of other fingers. He did not lift it, only stood. And the law? He asked, not facing anyone. Calder paused one beat, turned. His eyes scanned the room, over me, over Sam, over the men with knees raised, over the spittoon, and fixed on the ledger's mouth. Law, he said, he who keeps it knows it. Crow did not nod, did not shake. He let his hand slip half from the gun, enough for leather to sigh. Curtain stirred. Sun split the room in two. We walked through the cut of light. Dust rose, slow, then fell. I opened the door. The wood creaked, groaned like a beast long tied. Outside the street was still. A dog on the step opened its eyes, closed again. Wind hit the sign. The sign held, did not break. We stepped out. Behind us I heard Barnett tap his ring once more. The sound sank like a stone dropped into a sack of sand. Crow said nothing. He would speak later, in a place with fewer ears. Out back, where the shadows held. Ruth did not turn. The cloth still in her hand. Meaning unchanged. Still the words she had spoken, but when the porch light struck, the edge thinned, showing stray fibers trembling. Every eye behind us followed. Not the people, the cloth, the way it sat in a hand that did not shake. Calder walked on the left. His shadow fell across Ruth's boots. Sam followed, the tin bucket swaying, tapping his knee each 3 steps. I came last. Before us lay the white road, so stark it made one want to look aside. None spoke. Only small sounds, wind slipping through termite holes, horse hooves far off, a dust grain falling from Ruth's hem, Calder's clean handprint on the bar, already fading in the minds inside. So the turn came. No drum, no declaration, Only one man. Sign's shadow cut the dirt like a big knife. Lying still. Barnett's 4 hands waited. Thin coats, long hems, hats pulled low. Gun butts poked from holsters like dead fish eyes. They stood loose in a line, leaving space between, enough to think one might pass through. Then think again. Deputy Crow did not stand with them. He leaned against a post's shade, hand resting his gun like on the mouth of a skittish horse. His eyes drew a straight line across us, locked into mine, pinning me to the witness roll. No shove, no hold, only nailed. Ruth stood left of Calder, left hand gripping the dark cloth. She looked into the gap among the 4, not at faces. Wind flicked the cloth's edge once, then quit. Calder spoke none. He drew his hat lower, kept shoulders square, heels on one line. Boy Sam stood half a horse behind me, the bucket no longer with him. He had left it with me at the door. His hands were bare now, holding nothing. The saloon door behind cracked once. Inside hushed. All the noon noise drawn out of the street like a rope pulled, leaving the core. Insects. Skin rasping on leather. A drop of sweat falling on the bucket lid at my boot. Then still. "Stop," the first man said. Flat voice, not sharp. "No road for that kind," the second added. Tilted his head, watched how far his shadow stretched under sun. "Leave it," the third pointed to Ruth's hand. "That." "And name," the fourth said. "Put name in the book." The word book left his mouth like a feather, light, yet hooked skin. Calder stepped half a step. Dust puffed under heel, circled, fell. He did not touch Ruth, touched no one. "We said," the first reminded. "Heard," Calder said. "Then understood," the second told. "Understood," Calder repeated. His eyes stayed on the gap between 2 barrels on the right. He chose no eye. Chose the space where a body might pass, if barely. "She's shame," the third said. "No," Ruth said. One word. No rise. "Here we call it so," the fourth corrected. "Here, law." His mouth pulled, his teeth yellow, even like corn husks at season's end. Crow left the post, stepped once into shade, his hand still on the butt. "Calder," he called, not loud. Calder did not turn. "Lower your hat," Crow said. "Ease the glare." Calder pulled brim down. Not from hearing, from sun. I saw Ruth breathe deep. "What?" "Quiet," she said, not to him, to herself. Sam swallowed. He watched Ruth's wrist as at a trap set on oneself to stop thrash. His eyes asked me. I shook once, told him, "Stand." He stood. "All ends must return to the book," the fourth said, repeating words from the saloon like a prayer for the forgetful. He slid left. The way shrank. "Home," the first added. "Not home," Calder said. Then "whole," the second smirked. Then "whole," the third echoed. They barked once, short, then ended. The laugh hit dirt, broke to dirt. Barnett did not come. He knew he need not. His ring, even hidden, still tapped inside every skull. Crow stayed on the rim, like a loose nail not drawn. He looked at me once more. His eyes asked, "How will you tell?" I did not answer, did not promise. "Calder!" Crow called again. I heard weariness in it, not from heat, from standing. "Yeah," Calder said. "Think another step," Crow told. "Thought," Calder said. "Done yet?" The first grew restless. He twisted wrist. Leather groaned like a cow's back under rope. "Done," Calder said. The sun dropped hard. No shadows flew. No dust stirred. All held still to catch the smallest move. Calder raised his hand. Not fast, not slow. The hand slid from hip to shirt's edge, like checking a button. His shirt torn at the left sleeve. Old thread frayed. He touched, sighed, paused, drew. The gun was in his hand before it was seen. No metal sound, only the black barrel sliding into sun, holding like an eye long open in dark. The first man's lip jerked. Too late. The second had not half-drawn breath. The third tilted head, measuring wind. The fourth blinked. All those not-yets split, making a gap. Calder stepped into that gap. I heard the trigger. Dry. One. Then one. Then one. Not muddled. Not clung. Each shot like a nail, struck with full force. Right place. No wasted hammer. Dust at the first man's boot burst. He clutched chest. Blood did not spurt, only seeped, darkening shirt, like water uphill. The second spun. Gun fell from his hand, rolled once, stopped by trough. The third folded head to breast, dropped as if a stick pulled out from under. The fourth fired late. His bullet went skyward, struck somewhere in the sun, gone. Then he fell back, staring at a cloud that was not there. 3 men down. I did not count then. I only saw the ground lose 3 shadows. A stray round cut past, not Calder, into the cloth, from no sure place. Maybe palm scraped on holster edge, maybe lip, maybe inside mouth, where teeth struck teeth. The red spread like ink in paper. No shape, only spread. "Enough," Crow said. Not a command, as if to his shadow. His gun was not drawn, his hand stayed, like on the brow of a fevered child. "Enough," Calder echoed. His gun lowered half a notch, but his eyes stayed high. Wind came back, pushed dust across my boots, brushed Sam's ankle, made him sneeze. He covered his mouth with his wrist, then lowered it, stared at blood on the cloth, at blood along Calder's face. He did not weep. It did not make him older. He only stood like a small stake, tried a word in his throat. "Hurt?" "No," Calder said, not turning. Ruth loosed the cloth to breathe, then bit again, this time deeper, to keep her breath from breaking out loud. The fourth man did not die at once. He braced on his elbow, eyes searching for hold. No one moved. His hand touched the water by the trough, clouded. He drew it back, left a wet mark in dust. The mark steamed away under sun before he could look twice. He lay down, still. The saloon door stayed open. Someone behind the curtain. It stirred, then held. No cry. No one said Lord. This town had learned the lesson of silence, where silence was due. They gave the right answer. Crow stepped once more. He looked at Barnett, not there, as at a shadow in an empty space, then looked at us. "With me," he said low. None moved. Calder wiped his cheek with the back of his hand. Blood smeared into a new line, not sharp. He let his hand drop, looked at the red. No frown, no smile. "Go," he told Ruth. Ruth did not answer at once. She drew the cloth from her mouth, still bound at her wrist. The strip now held a thin tear, frayed edge. She pressed tongue and teeth to it for a beat, as if counting, then let go. Go, she said. Sam stepped half, then halted. Waited on me. I said nothing. We had learned to walk past the fallen without touching, as past a pit not filled, their shadows still hot on the ground. The sun pulled iron scent up. It mixed with hide scorch and dry wood into a smell that outlives men here. Any more? A voice in shadow asked, sudden. No one answered. Maybe he asked to know he lived. Thread. Sam bent, picked a hat fallen, brushed it, set it on the dead man's chest, brim down, not to cover eyes, only to keep the head from naked sun. He looked around. None saw. He did it for himself. Fro exhaled, turned half aside, not yielding, not afraid, only shifting weight off a sore leg. His hand left the gun butt, hung, thumb dusty. I heard cloth tear once more, very faint. Not sure if from her band or someone's chest. Then silence, heavy as a thick blanket dropped on what still shook. The sun did not move. The dust did not fall. Only the cloth on Ruth's wrist deepened shade, as if sworn to a new office, binding. In that choke no one spoke more. No birds, no dogs, no doors. Only one thin sound, longer than a blink, a fiber snapped under teeth. Then all settled. We stood, and the street knew it had cracked, though no one laid hand on the split. The street was a crypt. They dragged bodies through noon. An old rope tied ankles, cut the skin deep. Shoes scraped worn sound. No prayer said, no palm on brow. Flies circled slow, counting dust. I stood on the step, grip on post, watched the furrow behind them like a line scrawled in dirt. The sun would erase by dusk. Deputy Crow looked toward the saloon, his gaze fixed where Barnett had stood each evening, at the bar with glass wiped never clear. He did not move. The silver star on his chest caught a sun flash, then fell off, died. His hand slipped half from his gun, then set back. I saw weariness pass his face, thin as wind trace on a well's lip. He spoke low, enough for me. Leave it. I did not ask where. The windows along the street cracked enough for one eye. Those eyes did not watch the dead. They watched the ground between Calder and Ruth, watched Ruth's left hand where the dark cloth bound since the yard. The fabric red now. The sun struck the fray, making short fibers shine like fine thorns. She did not unbind. She walked left side, step even, her shadow long, thin, like a dulled blade. Stop, Crow told the men dragging. They did not. They feared slow smell. They wanted it done. A wheel scraped through a puddle, splashed brown onto a woman's hem in shadow. She did not curse. She set her hand to her belly, as if holding something from falling. Word came when the post's shadow stretched a man's length. No one ran. Only a door banged twice, and a hoarse voice, gone, bar empty. All knew what he said, not surprise, not sorrow, only marked the whole. Still paper, someone in shadow said. False paper, Crow answered. Names? None, he said. We looked at the table where Barnett had tapped his ring. 2 old water rings, dried like callous marks. No tapping now. Only the sound of insects running the wall's edge, like a thin pen scoring time, the line near invisible. News followed news. The safe empty, the ledger gone. A cloth pouch left in the corner with only a few coins. Behind the street, a saddle slot missing, wheel tracks bent down the slope toward the field where the wind often turned. Barnett did not die by gun. He went. Left the town like a chipped cup, one no hand dared fill for fear of leak. Debt turned wind. Human breath turned dry swallow. Afternoon slowed. Shadow drifted onto Calder's porch. I sat the wood step. Sam on the step below, flipping a pebble, turning it, turning back. Calder sat in the chair, back to post, a strip of clean cloth wrapped across his cheek. The long cut had stopped weeping. He stripped his shirt, pressed arm against the bandage, wound another turn. No sound. Each knot sliding over skin gave a rasp, small like a snake moving from brush to ditch. "Hurt?" I asked. "No," he said. "Let me tie," I said. "Enough," he answered. He pulled one more half-turn, tied. The end sagged, quiet. Ruth stood at the trough. She dipped the dark cloth, lifted, wrung. Red water slid like a thin snake through her fingers, down the channel, gone. She dipped again, wrung again. Not hating, not washing to forget. Washing as work the hand remembered. Crow circled the roof, called once. She did not raise her head. "Here," I said. "Fresh water." "Old will do," she said. "Cold," Sam broke in, voice husky. "Cold is good," she said. She pressed her palm in the water long, until skin puckered, then lifted the cloth. The morning's tear had widened, fringed like fish beard. She smoothed it, did not cut. The dark strip had become something between. No longer a confession at the well, no one's flag. It was rope to brace a body after blast. She knew. None told her. "You leaving?" I asked. "Where?" she asked back. "Far," I said. "Here," she said. No claim, no vow, only a patch of dirt by the trough, where red water stained darker half a shade, barely seen. Crow stepped into the yard, halted at the shade's rim. The silver star no longer caught sun. He nodded at me. I nodded. "He took it all," Crow said. I saw dust. Blue, turned away, his shadow drained from the yard like water from a palm. That night, people tore debt papers inside their homes. Paper did not shout when torn, only made white lines in palms. Some burned piles out back, smoke thin as hair. Some hid sheets under chestboards, like hiding a knife saved for wall corner. None said Ruth's name at table. None Calder's. If their path to the well cut across his porch, they watched shoe tips, checked if rope sagged, did not lift eyes. Ruth's gaze was like the fairy water long abandoned. Anyone mirrored in it came back blurred. "They look at you," Sam said, low by the trough. "They look at rain too," Ruth said. "But rain smells different," Sam said. Ruth nodded. "Still wet," she added. She wrung the cloth again. The red faded, went rust, then near clear. Not true clear. She shook it, hung it on a yard post to dry. Not the fence. Not yet. Calder rose. He tried chewing a corner of dry bread, long, hard swallow, his eyes level with the cloth, dripping, drop by drop, sound enough to hear. He did not watch long. Went in. Came out with a second chair. set it beside his own, said nothing, left it there. I understood. Sam understood. Ruth gave no sign, but she shifted half a step nearer the new chair. "Tomorrow I go," Ruth said, after long quiet. "Yeah," Calder said. "Where?" Sam asked. Ruth gave no answer. She watched the gate, the paint-peeled wood, its hinges groaning at the faintest wind. No wind, no groan. She still watched, as if listening. "To the gate," she said. "See." "See what?" "The road," she said. I thought she would leave that night. When the moon climbed over roof, I listened for hinges, for sand under soles. None came. Only the stove's crackle, a kettle set in corner, an insect striking the window thrice, then still. At dawn, fog moved slow along the ditch. I stepped to porch. Ruth stood at the gate, hand on the bar. She opened. A slit. Enough to let in the town's scent. Ash from hurried debts burned. Old saddle smoked on coal. Charred cornbread. She stood long, then shut. No sound. She turned back, sat the chair Calder set. No word. Calder carried out a tin cup, set it on the step low, cut their path wide around the saloon. On Barnett's bar, the two old rings remained. They would remain till someone scraped. Maybe none would scrape. Maybe they meant to remember, so not to ask. Crow showed at the gate, tapped two knuckles on the bar. Ruth did not move. Calder opened. "He left before dawn," Crow said. "Yeah," Calder answered. "Two horses," Crow said. "One saddle new." "Yeah," Calder repeated. "Men will follow," Crow said. "Yeah," Calder said a third time. Crow nodded, glanced at the cloth on Ruth's knee. "Dries quick," he said. "Wind," Ruth said. "Wind shifts," Crow said. He turned, walked. The silver star in his chest caught sun a second, then was gone. Noon, the sun flat as a blade's back. I saw Ruth's prints from the gate back to the porch, shallow. 3 marks. Then none. They stopped at the step where the second chair stood. I gave Sam the bucket. He dumped the old water, drew fresh, set it where yesterday it sat, under the porch table, where his foot always stirred dust. He looked at me, gave a thin smile, barely seen. I nodded. Debt paper in town made no sound. Names once heavy, now light as dust off horse hooves. Yet that lightness did not deepen breath. Folks breathed shallow. They dared not owe silence. They dodged Ruth's eyes as dodging a mirror, turned back showing letters they had once signed with shaking hand. Someone brought liquor to the porch, set it down, passed on, no word. Ruth did not reach. Calder took, poured a little in the morning's tin, left it there. No one drank. "I thought you gone," I said, when the porch shadow climbed half the step. "I thought so," Ruth said. "And then?" "The gate said no," she said. "The gate spoke." Sam blinked. "The hinge," Ruth said, sounded different. Sam nodded, as one shown a short path through brush. The turn came so, no cry, no tear. One hand touched the gate, heard the hinge. One man set a second chair on the porch. One cloth washed, folded, laid on a knee. All shifted half a step. yet enough for the town to know. Someone stayed, not by chain, but by choosing to carry silence. Wind crossed the yard, brushed the cloth's edge, made it tremble once. I heard and I knew the tale not done. But the heaviest piece was laid in place, here on this porch, on a chair with no name. Morning drew a thin line.
Airing, Ruth said.
It's dry, he said. Still air it, she answered. I said nothing. In my head was the sound of an old wire twanging where last season the cattle broke through, Calder patched. This morning it made no sound, no cattle, only the earth's quiet. Calder came from the shed, shirt smelling of dried sweat. He carried a short timber, wedged it at the rail's base, bracing the post. He did not touch the cloth, did not glance. His hand tapped the post once, testing hold. The post held. He nodded one time. Enough wind, I said. Yeah, he answered. Ruth stood astride off, chin slightly raised as one setting a thing on a high shelf, waiting it steady. She did not check, did not adjust, left it. Her hand fell, still with habit of clench, knuckles whitening, then pinking back. A rider passed, not fast. He looked porchward, then at the cloth. His eyes slid like a blade testing board, did not stop. Horse struck twice on sand, tossed dust on his heels. He went on, silent. Flag, is it? Sam asked, not looking my way. No, Ruth said. Then what? Leave it, she said. The sun drew the cloth's shadow long on the fence, then shortened with hour. The black in the center did not shine, did not fade. It was something refusing surface, something inside. I thought of the trough that day, red water through fingers. I thought of cloth tearing in teeth. That sound, small but longer than one breath. Calder passed again. He set the bucket under the porch table, same place, his eyes fixed toward the street as if someone counted steps there. Passing the fence rail he did not touch. He did not change stride. His brim shaded half the bandage on his cheek. Under the cloth, the cut still pink. He left the cloth hanging like a sentence spoken, not repeated, not needing assent. He won't take it down, Sam said. No, I told him. Why not? So others know, I said. Know what? No, I said again. No more. The street still moved, doors wide. At Barnett's, the back door unlatched, inside hollower than a drum. The two old water rings on the bar still there like the mark of hands withdrawn. People passed quick, crossed to the far side. Deputy Crow walked slow, stopped at the gate, tapped knuckles twice on the bar. I looked. He paused, his eyes fixed on the cloth, then on the rail, then Calder's face, then back to the cloth. Wind shifts, Crow said. Yeah, Calder answered. Timber, Crow touched the post, still firm. Enough, Calder said. That there stays? Crow asked, eyes elsewhere. Stays, Ruth said. Crow nodded. There is law here too, he said, voice low. Nails width. From the road came talk, circling. Whose names held in ledger? Who owed who? Who burned papers? Who hid them in chests? None spoke Ruth's name, none Calder's. They spoke around. The wind brought shell of words to the porch, not their core. Needs taking down? I asked Ruth. No, she said. It must look. Look at what? The road, she said. Calder fixed the latch at the shed, metal on wood, rasping like old knife on cracked stone. He did not turn. Sam pulled a dry stalk, folded it twice, then 4, then 8, pocketed. His hands had no place. I gave him a cup. He drank once, set it down. The rim left a round stain on the step, fading. A mangy dog nosed the fence, sniffed the cloth. Sam tossed a pebble, missed, tossed again, struck its tail tip. The dog trotted off, stopped, looked back, tongue hanging. "Go," Sam said, not shouting. The dog went, turned, toward the saloon. The cloth did not move more. Evening drew shadows together. Crows passed overhead, harsh. One perched 2 posts down, stared, tilted, left. Birds read signs, quicker than men. "You mean to put it away tonight?" I asked. "No," Ruth said. "Tomorrow?" "No," she said again. "How long, then?" "Till the wind tires," she said. "Wind tires long," Sam whispered. "Yeah," Ruth said. We sat in a row under the porch, not close, the gap between the 3 of us, like a strip of dry riverbed. From that gap, I saw the edge of the cloth through Ruth's fingers, resting on her knee, the hand no longer clenched, the swollen joints, tired, learning how to let go, not letting go of a person, letting go of an extra beat. Calder set a small hammer beside the chair, tapping the handle lightly, steady rhythm. I guessed he was counting in his head the things still broken around the yard, the back door hinge, the roof sheet at the cistern corner, the old latch on stall 2. No one spoke the word night. All 3 of us avoided it like a cliff. Night arrived without being named. The sun thinned out. The beam cut across the cloth, the black mark rising sharper like ripe ink. I thought of the first time at the well. The cloth was a confession. Behind the saloon, the cloth was a binding cord. Now, on the fence, it stood like a flag that belonged to no one, not marking a sign. 4th post. He crouched, clipped it tight. The wire gave a sound like teeth grinding. He tied it, stood, dusted his hands, walked under the cloth without lowering his head. No touch, no urging, no forbid. Just let it hang, like a sentence no one finished. "He doesn't need to look," Sam noted. "He's already seen," Ruth said. "When?" "Before it was there," she answered. I understood part. The rest was elsewhere, out of reach. We heard shoes far off on gravel, 3 steps, then gone. The street hollow again. The saloon's shadow stretched to the porch, touched Sam's boot tip. He pulled his foot back, as if the shadow might stain, then stretched it out again, chose to let it touch. No harm. Night came slow, sparse stars. The cloth lost its color in the dark. Only the black patch in the middle, deeper than night, like a pupil fixed beyond the gate. Wind lifted it, dropped it, steady. I heard the cloth's tap against wood, broken, like someone knocking at a window, so the inside would remember not to lock. Crow came again, not entering. He stopped by the curb, lifted his head. "That's there," he said, near mutter. "It is," Calder answered, from shadow. "Tomorrow?" Crow asked. "Still," Ruth said. Crow paused. "All right," he said. He turned, his shadow linking with shadow. Sam dragged his chair closer to the steps, sat, chin on knees, staring at the fence. "I thought flags had color," he said. "They do," I said. Any color, as long as folks see and stop. If they don't stop, then they chose, I said. What if they chose wrong, he asked again. Then let the wind decide, Ruth said. Wind crossed the yard, touched the cloth's edge, lifted, dropped. No prayer went with it, no sign. Only the bare fact of a thing. Yet it held more than words. I sat listening, felt the step beneath me grow cold, as if someone pulled fire from the earth. Inside, Calder set the hammer on the shelf. Wood on wood, soft like a nod. He left the door unlocked. It closed halfway. Stopped. Uncle, Sam said, will it be there tomorrow? Yes. I'll remember, he said. Good, I said. Remember for what, he asked, yawning. To tell it right later, I said. He nodded. Touch. A boy on the steps, counting wind. The dark cloth had ceased to be confession. It turned into warning flag, and all who passed, me included, slowed a half-step, though none admitted stopping. Here the story ends. The well left, the cut on a cheek, the porch step, and the dark cloth. At first it was confession. In gunfire it became cord to keep a body whole. At last it hung on the fence like a small flag. Whoever passed slowed half a step. This land heals by silence. No promises, no repayment, only placing the thing in its place for the wind to speak. If you find need, leave a line. What is your plough, the thing that once made you bow, then held you upright, then told you to stop in time? Where would you hang it so others know to go slow? Night fell. The cloth still hung. We all passed by, each holding enough quiet not to wound another.